Right, so Dofi Mirror.
All right.
Okay, I actually really like the Dofi Mirror match. I think they're going to see the same cards,
Yep.
so it does just come down to a skill expression. Who is better at the mirror match?
Yeah. It might be a few different cards as well. Potentially, if they play Gravity Blade, the Perfume that we
Yep.
saw last round, or even Jozu. I think some builds maybe don't play it potentially. We obviously had a friend who was playing just all 4 costs.
Yep. So we see Pan on the left keeping his hand. I believe I saw like a Sengoku Searcher, maybe a Buggy Stacker or a Perona Stacker.
I definitely saw Perona in that hand, so I was like, yeah, he's going to keep that.
Bowl Blocker, and depending on who goes first or second as well, is huge in this matchup. Dofi has a really strong 6 Don turn where he can just go like play Bowl Blocker, attach a Don, attach another Don, swing, play Jimbei, play Weevil, establish 12 Don worth of characters for 6, and swing 7. Like,
Not necessarily bad going first either, because it also means you can establish board quicker than your opponent. But yeah, the Jimbei is definitely. Oh, so Pan is going first there. So get the Perona, stacking life. Looks like a 2K, a Weevil, and.
So a Jimbei, so that's really good. He can set it up so he can do Jimbei Weevil turn 2, which is
easy.
what you want.
Yep. And I think I may have seen a second 2K lore as well. Pass over to Nick here. Does he have the Perona? He has the Sengoku, interesting enough, so he's actually going to be searching probably for those Jinbeis or Boa.
A Pudding is huge as well.
Yeah, unfortunately he cannot grab that there, so he does grab the Gecko, the one that grabs a 4 cost from Trash, or a Perona.
Really good card as well. Like the amount of recursion that you can get off Gecko is wild.
He's easy. So yeah, he does lead ability, plays the Jinbei, plays the Weevil, and Nick does take that life there.
I fully appreciate Pan rocking the Gear 5 Don.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Nick just rocking what appears to be like his cool favorite decks.
Yeah.
Or like favorite cards.
It's quite nice. Oh, yeah, he's on his own Jinbei Weevil combo and has just passed for turn there. Yeah, that's the nice thing about the Don. You can customize to what you like ability, especially with the new PRB set.
So Pan has another Jimbei in hand. So
Does he get greedy and just plays it? Which I don't think you get punished for if he does.
don't think he has a good play off of it though.
No. Well, he could play potentially Gecko to get that 2K back. Or potentially he could also play play Jinbei, play Gecko, trashing the Perona, and then get that Perona back. There's one option, but
You know, I see people shuffle their hands a lot. I've never seen anyone shuffle their board like Pan just did.
he just wants to make everything neat and tidy.
This is also going to be super interesting because Pan is putting the pressure on. So he has to be aware that Nick is going to try to swing at his board on the clapback.
So Pan did play that Jinbei and played the Gecko.
Adding back the law. So he's got, I think he's got like 3 2Ks in hand.
Something like that, because I know in his deck he did stack some 2Ks, so he may have another one coming if he hasn't already got it. But yeah, Pan and Nick are just flying through this game at the moment. You know, 3 life, 5 life. Both have very scary boards for each other.
Yep.
Both haven't swung besides the Weevil Jinbei. So it's up to Nick here. Does he want to go into the Jinbei and Weevil just to get at least some cards out of hand?
Well, if Pan starts blocking, he's got 3 cards in hand. Nick's got like 8. Like, that's a huge amount of cards in hand. If he can just keep that hand size differential now and like clear board relatively painlessly, that's huge.
That
Like,
is definitely. So he did use that 2K that he grabbed to get out of that Jinbei swing. So Nick now going as an 8.
if you're swinging 8, that means you're swinging at the Edward. And this is going to put Pan down to 1 card in hand if he wants to protect.
Yep.
Definitely not worth it. You don't want to go to 1 card in hand, turn 3.
No, definitely not. So I had a quick look at Pan's hand just then. Looks like he had 2 2K Crocs and a Boa blocker.
Yep. And now if he swings Jinbei, I think Nick...
Oh, interesting. Playing the... Surely
Do
bounce...
you even just not bounce anything?
I feel like maybe
the
bounce-
Jinbei?
No, not Jinbei. I feel like bounce back maybe the Gecko.
You don't want him to get cards out of...
No, but like you don't want him to just have free Jinbei stuff. Oh, but then he swings into the other Jinbei. Oof. I would personally not have done that because now he can just get that back with Gecko. But hey, I'm not a Dofi player, so...
Yeah. They've played this mirror match more than we have.
I mean, look how fast they're going through it. They
Yep.
know exactly what each other are doing and what they're doing.
Oof.
So Pan playing the boa, unfortunately, not with him, but bottom decking all that.
I think at this point, do you even just go up to 8 on lead and swing into the Weevil? Like, this matchup is just going to come down to who can consistently clear the other person's board whilst maintaining a hand.
Yeah, that's the problem Pan's in at the moment. He doesn't have a huge hand. Nick has a pretty scary board at the moment, like, 3 attackers that can actually do something, plus that Blackbeard to be able to set up play, so he doesn't even need Prona anymore. And unfortunately, Dofi doesn't really play any, poppers or anything, unless they're playing the Jozu or the...
Yeah, Jozu's probably the closest thing.
Law as well, to get back to hand, but then he just plays it again next turn for free, because that 2 Don just goes on the Dofi.
Pan's really just trying to take the time to think about how he wants to do this. It's a pretty critical turn, I'd say. It's either he might just get blown out and be effectively over in 2 turns, or...
He's starting to go 8. He's doing I think that might have been a blind keep there. Very nice. He definitely got rewarded.
It was.
Ball. Ooh, sees the Weevil, sees the Jozu, and sees a Law that from the start of the deck that gets something back to hand. Deciding. Interesting. Because he could play Jozu next turn, getting the Sengoku back. He does have quite a few counters in hand.
He could try and draw that Weevil and just go Gecko, Weevil. Oh, Gecko, add back Jinbei, play Jinbei, Weevil.
Potentially.
It gets him his board back for effectively just for utilising his Don for the turn. I think Jozu's not
the best play. I think it really depends what Nick does. Oh, so he actually went for life. Interesting. Okay. So Pan is trying to put the board life pressure rather than board pressure, because I guess he's just assuming he just has not much chance to clear that board, considering Nick's hand size, which is quite hefty at the moment.
Yep, and now Nick is forced to start swinging face, which is totally fine.
Yep.
It does get Pan to build up his hand again, which is bringing the match back to more and more even in terms of card advantage and live.
Now, I can't remember 100%. I'm not sure if that Lure is on play or just activate main. I'm not sure if he will now want to bounce that back to hand. I think it might be on play, so I think he can't have that option, unfortunately. So Pan has just been getting out of all these attacks, so he's lost, assumingly, most of his 2Ks at that moment. He at least had 2 Croc 2Ks in there. And the Jozu, getting that Lure back.
And then here comes the Jinbei Weevil. Oh, no, just that Lure again.
Just that Lure again. Bouncing back the Jinbei, maybe? Oh, no, just bouncing back the Lure.
Yep. And Nick's done a really good job of trying to keep Pan's board as empty as possible.
Oh, yeah. I think he's punishing Pan a little bit for getting out of those swings, rather than take hits. He knows, okay, now you have low hand size. I don't need to swing anymore. I can just, chill.
Yep. And blue doesn't have access to a good rush card. It has Usopp, but I don't think I'm ever going to see a blue Dofi play that Usopp card.
If Pan plays that now, he may not win the match, but he'll win, people's choice.
The moral victory?
He'll win the moral victory, and unfortunately, Tack doesn't have play of the stream, but I will award him play of the stream if he plays Rush Usopp.
So...
Okay, so Jinbei into Boa.
Yep.
Using effect. See what he gets. Another Weevil. He's seeing a lot
got
of
his
Weevils
own
there.
Law bouncer now. He
Very
can
handy.
bounce at Sengoku. Oh, no. Sorry, bounce.
Probably a Weevil. Probably the best option.
Yeah. It's tough because you don't... There's so many good on-plays in Dofi that you just don't want to trigger again
Yeah.
for your opponent.
I feel like Nick in this situation probably would get out of this attack only just in case if Pan does go for life here, just because in case he does have the perfume card in hand, because obviously he would know that some builders do run it. I feel like if he goes for life here, he'd probably just get out of it because he has too many cards in hand anyway, just in case Pan does have a pudding. But if he goes for board, it depends what he goes for. If it's Weevil, I would almost just let it die potentially, because he does have another one in hand. And he does have another Jinbei, so he can just do it again next turn.
Swinging 9, playing that Law, bouncing
Yep, bouncing the Weevil back.
Sengoku for the Weevil.
No, not bad, not bad. And he has one Don up left, so I assume he'll just play that after this attack resolves. So, yeah, I feel like Nick probably just gets out of it, to be honest, just save his field a bit. Yep, he does. So, 2 2Ks and a Jinbei, surprisingly. Okay.
He did have that Gecko in hand, remember?
Oh, he did, yes, okay.
So he might just be going for one of those Geckos into adding a Jinbei back and just popping off from there.
Potentially, potentially. He does have the bow as well, so he might just not want to risk losing that as well, because, yeah, that can definitely help out a lot.
Yeah, and just over that in a couple of turns, like, the boards were swapped almost immediately. Like,
Yeah, like it's just reversed now.
Pan had no board and now has a full board almost again.
Pan does have low hand size, though. That is the only thing, so...
I think it's actually pretty big now. It's like 6 or 7,
I have to have
right?
a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, look. Yep, no, it's hefty now. Looks like he's got a Blackbeard, a Jozu. Come on, Pan, show us your hand.
Surely that Jozu, if it's swinging, is into the Law.
Yeah, at this point, I think you have to clear board and then start going for life, just because you don't want them to have field. Pan also rocking the Eternal Magic sleeve. Very nice. Shout out to Eternal Magic.
May they beat you one time.
They never beat me, bro. Never have. Adelaide, every Eternal Magic player, I won. 3v3, won that. I mean, you guys didn't actually turn up for the game, but it still counts as a win. We'll have a 3v3 next time.
Yeah, Nick's just taking his time to think about the turn.
Yeah.
Jinbei Law, never a bad combo. Probably bouncing the Boa.
Yeah. Forces Pan to at least use cards from hand if he wants to save that Law there.
Yep. And his hand does have a lot of counter in it.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think the Jozu does have 1k counter on it, so he can also use that if he needs to. But he does have a bug. I think, do you want to say 2 buggies?
2 buggies, another 2k croc.
So Pan is being comfortable here. And it looks like, so I missed that there. Looks like Nick actually passed his turn. Oh, no, he
No,
just swung.
he just swung and was waiting on Pan to counter.
Apologies, I was adjusting my chair. Gotta have good posture for these events.
Do have to say, I appreciate the thematic colouring of their sleeves for the deck leader. Blue themed sleeves, always good on a blue deck.
Always have to do it. So Nick's, I think Nick's thinking here, does he play the Law again, bounce back the Law and also bounce back the Jinbei, or Sengoku potentially, or does he just play Weevil and draw and pass? Could also potentially play Boa. Oh, giving up a 2k, and then, yep.
Yep.
Playing that and bouncing the other Jinbei back to hand as well.
And once again, the board was empty.
Yep, once again. All right, let's see if Pan can do the same thing this round and clear Nick's board and get his own board established.
The fact Nick established that Jozu first was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No, and I think Pan may or may not be copying exactly what Nick did here, playing the Jozu, and we'll have to see if he plays the same sort of idea. Because he's at 10 now, so he's played 6, so he's got 4 Don left. I know he does have another Blackbeard, so he could potentially play a Blackbeard. My guess is he's going to play Blackbeard, put that Law on top, and then probably bounce, I'm guessing, Nick's own Law back to hand, and that Law, maybe Sengoku back to his hand. would be my guess.
I think you've got it.
Yeah. Don't even play Dolphin.
Oh,
I know
could put
exactly.
Jinbei on top, you're right.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, that probably actually makes more sense to put Jinbei back on top. Because then you can just bounce the Jinbei back and then... Yep. Now the question is, does Pan bounce back the Jinbei or the Law? Because Law's just going to do the same thing next turn as well. But then Law would just obviously... Jinbei would obviously just give him a free body. And he knows he has a Josie back in hand anyway. So it's kind of like... Which is worse for Pan here? Losing a body or giving Nick 2 free bodies? Because if he returns the Jinbei, he's just going to do Blackbeard again. Do the same thing for free.
Taking the life to go down to...
Interesting.
2.
Risky, especially...
Oh, 1, sorry.
Yeah, risky, especially if Pan does have the perfume. He doesn't appear to have so in hand. I'm not sure if he's running it either, but yeah, a bit of a risk there for Nick considering his hand is decently big. But he may just not want to give up too many cards because I don't think he has too much
One
counter
thing
left.
to note, he did just draw Gravity Blade.
Oh, interesting.
So it can get rid of that Jozu and a Law.
Yeah, it looks like he might be doing that. So he's swinging 7 into, I'm assuming, Jinbei here.
Yep. So I think he's going to just go Jinbei and then Martial D Teach effect, put Jinbei on top, Leader effect, play 2 cards, and then
Yep.
Gravity Blade the Jozu and maybe the Teach? Oh no.
Oh, interesting.
The
okay.
Law. I mean, it's good to get rid of the Law as well because unless if Pan has another, then...
Yep. And just play 7, Jinbei, Weevil, draw. And got a bowl blocker, very nice. Oh, and Pan has got that perfume in there, so he
Yep.
does have a hand now, so...
This last life is much more critical now.
So it really just depends. So Nick... have to see his hand completely, but he has at least 2 bowl blockers. Oh, yeah, so a Blackbeard, so he's 3k, a Josie, a Perona.
I don't think he has any
And Jinbei.
2Ks in his hand.
No, I saw Jinbei, so I think I've seen he's got 5k in hand, if I've looked at that correctly. So he can get to 10.
You got 17 minutes.
Player was just asking for time, so we got 17 minutes left in round. Unfortunately, we don't have a clock down their end, so they can't see it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Nick is relatively safe here. It really depends if...
It also just depends on how Pan's approaching this turn. If he can, like, safely bounce Law, Jinbei, and Weevil in one way or another, then he can just keep going face.
He can, yeah, because he is up on life, so if he's able to survive just one more turn, he can then probably put the board pressure to just swing. Okay, yep, so he's just going to play that. Yep, that's what I was thinking. He might play a bowl blocker there.
Well, there's a Jinbei on top of his deck now, so...
Well, he's definitely happy. I'm not sure if he has anything to really play, though. I think he has a Teach in hand. And he could play a Buggy if he wanted to, but I think that'd just be a bit of a waste of a 2k at this point.
You also couldn't use Leader Effect unless if you put something on top of a deck anyways for Trophy.
We could use Blackbeard effect.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Like, he has
Oh,
to put
yeah.
something on top, but I don't think he has anything.
No, nothing nothing really useful that he can really do. Yeah, again, I think the best thing would be another Blackbeard or Buggy, but he doesn't want to do that. Save those cards. Oh, actually, no, I think he had a Boa, actually.
Boa is really good here, if it is.
I believe it was. Apologies for missing that.
9k into like a Jinbei is going to kill it, or Law.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any 2Ks. I think, again, counting his cards, he has 5k in hand, so he just have to give up all his hand, more or less. So it's how confident he is getting it through next turn. there may be another Jimbei there potentially.
And Nick took it.
No, fair enough to him. So interesting position we're in here now.
So Nick has to go for game this turn.
Yeah, he can either play cautiously, because he does have a bow in hand, but again, he runs the risk if he runs the Perfume for, which Nick has just actually drawn himself.
I think Pan takes this. I don't think there's a way to deal 3 damage and go through.
It depends, because he did just get the Perfume event, so if he takes that, Pan definitely has to block with something.
Yeah, the thing is, if he reveals that Perfume,
That's the other thing as well.
it's just getting blocked straight away.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Blackbeard's, I think it's a free case, so you could use his own ability to put on. I think you can put Don on itself, kind of, or is it just
You
leader?
can.
Yeah. So you could also just do that as well to give it extra 2 if you do play something.
I mean, his hand is quite large. Maybe that 2k counter will just help him survive that
Yeah.
17k swing, but
the-
he still has
Yeah.
then a Jimbei Law Boa coming down at him.
Yeah, I think Nick is probably thinking that as well. Like he's trying to do like math of how many 2Ks Pan has seen there. So we know from the camera he has 1 buggy in hand, and I think the rest are counter besides 1. So at least has 4K in counter in hand, and 1 blocker up as well. So I just grabbed the Perfume.
Perfume is also a 2k counter.
It is a 2K counter. Oh, is it counter as well? I thought it was just.
I believe it's a counter as well.
Oh, very nice. All right, swinging 7 here. Pan could get out of this by giving the buggy and maybe the Sengoku. Definitely down to the wire to this one misplay here, and it's over for either one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's still potentially 3 attacks coming at you
Yeah.
with that Marshall D Teach.
Yeah. Got to respect the low cost because, yeah. Yeah, because hypothetically, I'll say Pan has decided to just block that one.
So he's got 7 done left.
I think he's got 9 Don left. He's only used. Oh, no, sorry. Apologies. The Jimmy had 2 on the. Yeah, so 7 Don left. And he needs at least. He doesn't actually need to use Perfume anymore, so.
I think he still uses it for a 2k buff. And then.
Maybe. It depends if
Because you can then use that rested 2 Don for the Marshall D Teach.
Hmm.
So Perfume is like a pseudo 4k buff.
I think it depends. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Teach can take attach a Don. It can only take rested.
It can only attach rested,
Yeah.
correct. So that's why playing Perfume for its just
Mm.
counter value might be the play here, but I think Pan's got 4k counter in hand.
He has a 2K and at least another 2 1K. So I think at minimum he has
Yeah, so
4K. Plus a dead card, which is the Perfume, which he doesn't really need anymore now. 'Cause I don't think Nick is going to bother defending. So I'm going to go 7 here. I mean, Pan could just get out of this and he'd just be fine. Is every card in hand, but I just don't think he has to worry too much. Because again, he has the Perfume in hand.
Nick's hand is also so massive, so I would be slightly concerned as Pan is like, maybe I can't just win next turn by swinging big.
Maybe, yeah. Because Nick, I don't think Nick has seen too many 2Ks this game, actually, so.
Okay, that was a Croc 2k counter as well, so
Okay.
I don't think Pan is at risk of dying this
No.
turn.
So he's at least can get out a 6K swing now. 6,000 counter, sorry. Yep, and I started to use the Perfume on Teach. Did he do his active on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he can just use teach effect on.
Okay, cool. No, I was just checking because he hasn't swung with Dofi yet. So he must have put the effect on Dofi, my guess is. 'Cause he hasn't.
No, he put it on teach.
Okay.
So it's just coming in for 7.
Yeah, Pan comfortably taking that.
Yep.
And
that's game.
Yeah, Nick realised it was over that point.
Yep. So many cards in hand, so many 1K counters.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Nick saw too many of his 2Ks that game. Pan saw a crazy amount. I saw at least, 3 Crocs, 1 Buggy, and then...
It was at least 2 Buggy.
yeah. And then I think he saw at least 3 of the Laws. So, yeah, definitely another great